Are you looking to grow yourself as a beauty professional? Awesome, stay tuned. Today I'm going to be interviewing Stephanie Gunner, who is an owner of Squad Beauty Professional. Stephanie, in our interview, talks about why she got started in her business, also the struggles that she's had, plus how she got through those struggles. I'm actually very, very proud of Stephanie. She is actually one of my role models because she actually opened up her doors a week before COVID got started, and she had to shut her doors. But Stephanie kept pushing forward, built the business that she has today. So Stephanie, I'm actually very, very proud of you. But Stephanie is a great role model for any woman who's possibly looking to start their business in the beauty industry or any woman in business. Stay tuned. My name is Shaytoya and I help moms grow their business. Hey Stephanie, I'm super excited to have you here today. How are you doing today?
Hey, I am super excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Shaytoya.
Of course. I've been very excited to have you on the show today. Throughout the years, I have seen the growth that you've had. So I thought you would be a great asset to other moms who's possibly looking to get into the salon industry.
Oh, yeah. I love what you're doing.
Yes, well, thank you. So I just wanted to make sure you kind of share with us a little bit of who you are. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself, Stephanie?
Sure. So I consider myself to be a pretty outgoing but disciplined beauty specialist. I'm the owner of Squad Beauty Professionals now, where our mission is to help working women who are struggling between juggling their personal care needs amidst their professional lives by offering them cosmetology and photography services all under one roof, saving them time and money, but still helping them feel better, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. Our vision, though, is to really help all beauty professionals grow their gifts and talents into multiple streams of income for themselves so they can really just be financially supported along by mentally, emotionally, all those things by carrying out their soul's work. We have had a good little role here. We have an awesome group of ladies. All the ladies here run their own businesses. They just lease space here to really just do their thing, and we just have a great group right now of ladies who are supporting each other and just really enjoying the freedom of doing what you love but still being able to support yourself financially. I think a lot of people have given up on that dream.
Yes, I totally. And so I just love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Everything that I see that you're currently doing and the growth that you're
Thank
having.
you.
Stephanie, thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for sharing. Did you want to go into a little bit more detail of kind of how is that you could help others?
Sure. So like I said, we do have salon suites. We are fully occupied right now, but we are definitely in the works of having our second location in 2023. So we are still collecting information for people who are interested in getting a salon suite. But right now we are full and happy. We're fat and full and happy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We also offer Lash certification classes. We're having our first group class on August 28th, but we do have solo classes as well, where you have one-on-one attention. Lunch is still included. We really, since, we like to combine the cosmetology and the beauty, our favorite is doing our personal branding sessions and our glam sessions. Our personal branding sessions are geared more towards, business owners specifically. We love working with other beauty professionals where we do hair, makeup, photos, and really focus on some good headshots so that whenever they're meeting their clients for the first time, they can see just who they're going to be working with, just pictures of them in their business, with their products, just really showcasing what it is day to day and how they help people. We also do glam sessions for our non-entrepreneurs, right? For our other working women who just, want to feel like a superstar for a day, because we have hair, makeup, photos. Everybody is just like egging you on and you just really feel great for that day. So we really love doing those. We also have the meeting space available for launch parties, we have skincare parties. We actually have one coming up in September. Makeup classes, anything that you can use to kind of just grow your network or grow just a network of like-minded people, right? So people who just want to get out and enjoy those things and enjoy those gifts that you're offering, right? But lastly, we do a lot of business coaching here, business strategy sessions, and we have a beauty biz boot camp coming up at the end of this year that I'm really excited to release. So we're going to be sharing more things about that, and kind of, from an early age, I know that I did. Even though I went to the military and did all these other jobs. You know, a lot of second time career people enjoy this too. It's like you end up going back to what you really enjoyed. You know, before people told you what you had to do and what you should do to earn money in this world, you know,
right?
Really, really focusing in on your gifts and your talents that you have. The Beauty Biz Bootcamp is really just to give everybody that push and that start, but with a good strategy, focusing on processes and data. That's me bringing in my disciplinary military stuff, you know? I feel that discipline is really important whenever you're going out here to try to get what you want for yourself. You know, we can't just want and want and want forever and never be willing to put in the work to get those things that we're drooling after.
Right. Oh, I totally agree with that. And Stephanie, I know you said your first thing that's coming up is your Lash
class. Yes.
Class. What is the qualifications that someone needs to attend?
So we are looking for licensed cosmetologists and licensed estheticians who may not have learned how to apply lash extensions in their, you know, curriculum that they took in order to get their license. I know it was not always available to every school, and also it may have been a very basic course. So this is a beginner's course, but it has all the tips and tricks and trades that I had to kind of learn on my own through research and YouTube videos and more advanced training and all this stuff. So there's just no substitute for experience sometimes. And it's not that you'll always do it my way, but you know, I really love to share what works for me, and what may work for you may be a little different. But you know, if you see like, I don't think I would have made that mistake, then great. This is going to be the class for you. Yes. And it's really geared towards those people who are just wanting to offer a new service, wanting to make a different level of income as far as it being a luxury service, you know? So I'm looking forward to these girls who want to just, I think a lot of times for myself, I just love learning more and getting new certifications and expanding my portfolio. Like I do so much stuff, but I enjoy it.
I love it. So my next question I have for you, Stephanie, is how did you get started?
How did I get started? Okay, so funny story. For anybody who may have all these reasons of why they can't do it, and this is in the way and that is in the way, and you know, you have to remember that people can take your situation. They may be in a less fortunate place. They can take your situation and they can win with it. For myself, I actually bursted into the entrepreneur scene because I was actually kicked out of the military for wrongful use of marijuana. I know. But it actually catapulted me into just, I won't lie, at first I had a little chip on my shoulder, right? So I had a little motivation, but it also kind of, I think I was already maybe manifesting that because I was trying to separate in different ways, because I kind of felt that glass ceiling closing down a little bit. I always felt very empowered with like leading people and helping people and being of service. But I realized that I had a lot more people to impact than what I was really just trying to close myself into, you know? And so it's been really great to I've had great things that I've learned from that experience that I use now in my business. But self-expression is really, really, really big for me in this space. I said all of that to say that no matter where you start at, as long as you start somewhere and you start doing the things that you need to do to get where you want to go, you will get there as long as you don't give up. I started researching. I knew I was getting out. I started researching low overhead businesses. And through that process, I found photo booth. And then I ended up figuring out how I could create the photo booth without actually paying $11,000 for it. I actually spent maybe like $3,500 building one myself, getting the enclosure, the camera, the laptop, the software, all this stuff. And I pretty much built it on my own for a fraction of the price. But because I was paying for it like piece by piece, I ended up getting the camera first. So I actually started to take photos. I was like, you know, I've always been a good iPhone photographer, so let me see if I can actually do this with a camera. And so I started practicing on my friends, and they were some of my like first models. And from the beginning to the end of my first shoot was just even different, just practicing and starting to figure things out. And then I started going to different networking meetings, meeting other photographers where they were actually giving me great feedback and encouraging me. So encouragement is always important too, and it really helps with your confidence. You know, we do have to encourage ourselves, but it's always good to motivate somebody else, you know, whenever you see that they're trying to do better for themselves. And so I had a lot of good feedback, and so I just kept taking photos, and you know, then we started getting a lot of traction as far as like, you know, out here they have a lot of hotels and casinos, so we were still plugged in with the military, so we were doing a lot of holiday parties downtown in the casinos, reunions, convention parties, like all this different stuff. And we would just pull up with everything like hair, makeup, photos, and a lot of those places that needed all those services at once. And I noticed that I love most whenever we would do photography where it was a woman that we were doing hair and makeup for. Like that was like the most fun, because it would be collective efforts of, you know, all these different gifts and talents, and then us also just hyping that person up, making them feel good about themselves too, you know, having all your little cheerleaders there. And I was always into beauty from a kid, so I kind of reached back into an old hat of mine and brought out going back into the beauty industry. Well, because I used to like do all of my friends' makeup and like shape their brows and stuff, and my sister used to do hair and stuff too, so we had like a bootleg beauty salon. But you know, it was something I was into when I was younger, and just going back into it just reinvigorated like a passion that I had from a long time ago. You know, back then, because I didn't really know myself, I was like, I don't want to just be about being cute and being beautiful. Like, I'm very intelligent too. Like, I want to be smart. The people that I saw back then in the beauty industry, there was not really like huge beauty CEOs like you see now. It was just mainly people who just worked at the salon doing hair or whatever, and they weren't able to grow those talents into multiple streams of income. They didn't have social media back. They didn't have, you know, the want for content, and seeing, you know, being able to have everything on display in front of you now is just such a huge advantage, because you're able to learn so much. I think that going back to school was challenging, but it was worth it, because it was an accomplishment after learning something new, getting a new skill and building that confidence, being good at it. It just makes you feel good about yourself, you know, and then you're helped. It was like a win-win situation. It's like I get to go to work, make people feel better about themselves, look better, you know, be happier, and then they're happy with me and they're satisfied, and it's more rewarding than doing, you know, calibrations, getting paid for it still come true pretty much. So I always encourage people, if they have any interest in the beauty industry, to look into it. You know, like if you have any type of interest, then you're more than likely going to love it, you know, and it could really be your passion and purpose in life to just really be uplift. Like, you know, in beauty, it becomes therapy. It becomes understanding that the true beauty of people is inner and outer, in connection with nature and everything that's around us, you know? And so it gets really fun, you know. Sometimes people just need to let their hair down. They need to just feel pampered and feel like they're taken care of. So it's been a really, like, I couldn't imagine doing anything else, honestly.
And so I'm very proud of you. I think I tell you that all the time.
Thank you. Yes. I'm so proud of you too, girlie.
Thank you. And then Stephanie, when it comes to, you know, kind of to share with, you know, these moms who's possibly looking to start a salon, what are some of the challenges that you had? And then how did you get out of those challenges? Can you share with us?
Yeah, I honestly think that it seems a lot scarier than it is initially, because, you know, you don't have, I remember, and that's why, you know, I really have been working hard to get myself out there, you know, coming on platforms like yours and letting people know that I'm here to help, because I remember starting out, even on YouTube, there's just not being a lot of content and a lot of people that's that are telling you how to start a salon and how to start it on your own in Las Vegas specifically. And so that was part of the reason why we launched our series Beyond the Table, and we actually go out to the local beauty schools here. We've hosted a couple of them here in the salon as well, where we're really teaching people how to transition into being a solo esthetician or a solo beauty professional in Las Vegas specific. It is really great for any service-based business. I feel like they didn't have a lot of content available, so that's why we started putting that on. And then also, even when we were in school, we were just learning how to become beauty professionals that were going to go out and get a job, not necessarily go out here and get a business and start a business. There's the business side of beauty that's there still to be able to learn. And I would say that that's probably going to be one of your biggest challenges is understanding that it's not just about how good you are in offering your services. If you do not know how to market yourself, it doesn't matter how great you are if no one knows about. If you don't know how to actually have a great client interaction with people to keep them coming back and really being focused on being of service versus making a quick dollar, because you're only hurting your longevity and the retention of the clients that you have. There's so many different areas too, like determining locations, understanding what is going to pass and what isn't going to pass inspection, what's allowed and what isn't allowed. Can you have portable sinks or no? Do you have to have carpet or does it have to be flooring? There are challenges, but they're nothing that's too big to get over. But a lot of the times, having someone who has gone through that already with you is nothing more valuable than hands-on experience, right? So even having someone like myself as a mentor, or going through SCORE or the Women's Business Development Center, all of those free resources. There's just so much here in Las Vegas. Going to all these different networking events where you're getting resources and information about funding, really loading your head up with the knowledge, but not just sitting on it, but implementing it, because it's a difference between just knowing things and actually implementing it, and putting them into place. You can know it all day, but you have to put those things into play, and you really, 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 really have to, especially if you're going out as a solopreneur, and if you don't initially have staff. You have to create as many systems and automations as you can for yourself to make it easier. If everything's written down, if there's how-tos, then anybody can really help you in your business, maybe even a family member, a friend. It's all about being resourceful. I would say you always have to remember, what do you have? What do you have to work with? Don't focus on what you don't have or what you need or what you think you're lacking. You really sometimes have to bootstrap. You have to look at every single person around you and say, you know what? Aunt Connie knows how to do accounting. She was an accountant for however many years. Let me see if she can help me with this in the beginning until you can make enough money to hire staff. And I always, always, always recommend people, once you're bringing in enough money to outsource, do it. Don't waste your time doing things that you're not good at. Do the things that you're good at in your business and focus there, because you're worth more time than what you may be paying for, because that person is easier for them to do it, right? So it may take them 30 minutes to do something that may take you 2-3 hours. And so it's better for you to use those 2 to 3 hours to bring in or do income generating activities for yourself, while they focus on the things that you're not really good at, like maybe creating graphics, maybe doing video, maybe working social media, all the things that are hard. But you just don't want to half-ass those things either. You want to have someone who's good at it, who's professional, so that your images come out, your photography, make sure that your images are professional so that you look professional. If anything in your business looks amateur, then your business is going to look amateur. So always keeping the highest level of professionalism that you can attain is really, really big. There are going to be challenges, but you have everything you need to do it. People have started in the lowest of spaces, and it's not who's the smartest, it's not who has the most, it's who's not going to give up and who understands that you could meet a person or opportunity that could change your life forever, as long as you're constantly growing,
Right.
Putting yourself in those spaces to grow and to get into a better position.
Stephanie, I couldn't agree more with that. And yes, I feel like whatever business that you are in, you have to know how to market yourself, because you could be the best person that does lashes, but if you don't know how to market yourself, no one's going to use your services. So couldn't agree more with you on that portion. So my next question, what tips do you have for a mom that's possibly looking to get started doing what you're doing?
I would say that you may be working a job, or my biggest thing is to build up some capital for yourself, especially if you're working. I love the enthusiasm about being an entrepreneur, but it's romanticized a lot of the time, and it's not one of those things that's going to be making a whole bunch of money in the beginning. There's going to be a lot of investing. There's just things that go into setting up a business, licensing. We're talking about training, equipment, just depending on what the business is, marketing expenses, print expenses, all that type of stuff you really you have to consider. So number one is you need to do a pre-opening budget. You need to get your finances in place, number one, so that you know how much money you need to save. What do you need to make in order to break even? Like, even if you're starting out with nothing, you still have to have an idea of where is this going financially, and having a goal. Like, if you know that, hey, I'm going to have to make this much to get this camera, right? Or I'm going to need to make this much to put this application fee in for me to get this license. You have to really, or I'm going to have to pay this much to get this license or this credential. Like, you have to start making that money or finding that money before you just jump out there and on a whim, like, it's very possible if you have a goal, if you know what you need to make, when you need to make it, how you're going to make it. So pre-opening budget is very, very, very big. Making sure that somebody wants what you have to offer. I know that our egos are really big, and we think of ideas and like, this would be great, but you really have to do market research to figure out, where am I going to differentiate myself in this process, or in this business? Like, you see people doing things like, oh, they're making so much money and they're happy and they're doing all this stuff, and like, I want to do that too. And it's like, okay, well, if they have the market sold up, like, what are you offering different from that person? I am definitely all for that. There's enough for us all to be in a space, but we all have to offer something unique and special. Copycatting is not going to get you very far. I think that even in the beauty industry, I always try to tell my clients that your services are great, but you'd be crazy to think that someone out there doesn't have a better service than you, or there's no one out here that's better technically than you. Like, that's just really underestimating just people in a home. Like,
right.
People are very gifted. So aside from that, what are you offering in the experience? What are you offering as far as the environment goes? What are you offering as far as retention and rewarding and recognizing and all of those different things in your business versus what someone else is doing? How are you showing up for yourself? What message are you pushing? What social cause are you supporting that people can connect with you on? It's just a huge, target marketing is just so important. You don't want to be out here discouraging yourself. You're putting yourself in front of people who don't even want what you have. And you may have something great, but you have to do that research to make sure that it's going to actually make you the money that you want to make, or hit the goal that you're trying to go, because that you're trying to hit. Everybody's goal is not, financial or monetary. If you're trying to impact a certain amount of people, are you going to actually be able to do that? So I'd say those two are probably the first things that pop into my mind. But one thing that I would say has been the biggest challenge, but when I finally implementing processes and systems, It makes it a lot easier to manage my time, just be more productive, and I think that you have to have a really, like, in everything that you do, you have to have a good just grasp on life. So I think, like I said, and when you're in business, you're just like, you're always looking, okay, what stone is unturned? What am I not seeing here? Who can help me? Where do I need to go? Like, there's a solution to every problem. And when you are trying to be an entrepreneur, you have to be resourceful. You have to be willing to do the things that other people aren't willing to do in order to get the things that you want and that other people will never have.
Stephanie, I couldn't agree more with you. When it comes to entrepreneurship, like, you're going to have your lows, you're going to have your highs. So if anyone knows, I do. So yes, I think it's super, super important for you to have a budget, or for you to possibly stay at your job until you can make that move to leaving that job. But yeah, there's a lot of...
Your goal should be to replace that income. That's an easy, set goal right there.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more with you. And thank you for sharing that with us today. My next question I have for you, super simple, is how do people contact you?
Oh, well, people can follow us on Facebook or Instagram as Squad Beauty Professionals. You can always reach out to us there. Our messages, our DMs are always open. You can also email us at info@squadbeautyprofessionals.com or visit our website at squadbeautyprofessionals.com. Feel free also to add me on Facebook. My personal page is Stephanie Gunner. I'm always sharing some good stuff on my page. And then if you are a beauty professional, just add our group, or go join our group, Las Vegas Beauty Professionals. I'm always dropping little nuggets and dimes, and there's plenty of other beauty professionals in there that share lots of tips just on being and just different experiences in this industry, even funny memes or stories or whatever. But we're all there to just really help each other build up our beauty businesses. So.
Okay, awesome. And I'll be sure to put that in the description. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Well, Stephanie, thank you for this interview today. We got a lot of great information. I think, a mom that's possibly looking to start doing what you do, I think you provided them a lot of great tips. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate being on here, Shaytoya, and I love what you're doing.
Next week, I will be sharing with you how to stay motivated during the holidays.